Picture this. It's 10:39 p.m. August 9, 2019. Jeffrey Epstein, the most high-profile prisoner in America, is locked inside the cell on a special house style at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York. The cameras are rolling, and on the footage the FBI kept buried for over 50 years, you can see a figure moving up the stairway towards Epstein's locked tire, wearing orange. Who the hell was that? And why? The very next morning was Jeffrey Epstein dead. Stay with me because what I am about to show you is not a conspiracy theory, and what I am about to tell you is not a conspiracy theory. This comes straight from DOJ documents and internal FBI memos released in February 2026. And it raises questions that nobody in power wants to answer. And now, real quick, in this case, in case you are new to this theory, let me give you 30 seconds of context because it matters. Jeffrey Epstein was a billionaire financier who ran one of the most horrifying sex trafficking operations in modern American history. He abused dozens, possibly hundreds, uh, of underage girls. He had private islands, private jets, and a little black book full of some of the most powerful names on the planet. In July 2019, federal prosecutors finally arrested him. It looked like for once a powerful predator was actually going to face justice, and he never did. 1 month after his arrest, on August 2019, Epstein was found dead in his cell. The official cause of death suicide by hanging. But here's what the official story couldn't explain. Couldn't explain the broken bones in his neck more consistent with strangulation than hanging. Couldn't explain why the cameras outside his cell malfunctioned that night. Couldn't explain why the guards, both of them, fell asleep on the job and falsified their inspection logs. And it absolutely could not explain the man in orange. Let's talk about the what we know and we now know. In February 2026, the Department of the Justice revealed a surveillance video observation logs from the Metropolitan Correctional Center, and buried inside those documents is something that should be all over the front page of the every newspaper in America. And at 10:39 p.m., roughly 9 hours before Epstein's body was discovered, surveillance footage captures an unidentified figure in orange moving up to the stairway towards Epstein's locked housing type. The FBI internal memory memo described this person as, I'm quoting directly here, possibly an inmate. Possibly. The DOJ's own officer of Inspector General looking at the same footage and said maybe it was a correctional officer carrying orange linen or bedding. Think about that for a second. The FBI says possibly an inmate. The DOJ watchdog says maybe a god was laundry. Two separate official agencies and some same footage. Two completely different explanations. The separate official agencies, same footage, two complete different explanations. They can't even get the story straight on what color clothing means. And anybody, not one official, not one prosecutor has publicly named who that person was. After 5 years, after 3 million pages of documents, after millions of taxpayers' dollars in investigations, nobody has named that person. And now, here's where it gets even worse. This wasn't a secure, well-run facility that had one bed night. The Metropolitan Correctional Center was a disaster waiting to happen, and the people running it knew it. DOJ investigators confirmed that multiple surveillance cameras was not working on the night Epstein died. Not glitching, not one delay, not working. The two guards assigned to check an Epstein every single 30 minutes both fell asleep, both falsified their logs to make it look like they would done their rounds. One of those guards, Tova Novel, was called before the House Oversight Committee as recently on March 2026, and you better believe that hearing raised more questions than it answered. And get this, the last death officially ruled a suicide at that person before Epstein was in 1998. 21 years went by without a single suicide in that facility. And then the one night, the world's most famous prisoner, a man who could implicate dozens of powerful people, just happens to die. I need you to sit with it. And here's what I haven't told you at the FBI's memo about the outrage figure. It wasn't released voluntarily, it was buried inside a batch of over 3 million pages on the DOJ one, only released because Congress passed a law literally forcing him to. And in that same document dump, Investigators found something else, something about what was physically happening to Epstein's cell block that night, something about a door. I will get to this in the 60 seconds, but first, if you believe an American people deserve the full truth about what happening that night, hit that like button like now, right now. It genuinely helps this channel get this story to more people. And all right, let's talk about accountability, or more accurately the total lack of it. The two gods on duty the night Epstein died, Tova Novel and Michael Thomas, was both federally charged with falsifying prison records, lying about doing around they never did, covering up a failure that may have cost a man's his life, the cost Epstein's victims their only shot at justice. Here's twist number two: those charges were dropped in May 2021. Federal prosecutors dismissed all charges against both gods. No trials, no conviction, no accountability. The reason given: prosecutorial discretion. Prosecutorial discretion. The gods who lied on official federal documents that night, the most important prisoner in America died, walked away completely free. Now ask yourself, who benefits when the people closest to that cell that night never have a testify oath under oath, because it's sure all his hell isn't the victims. Okay, here's the twist number two, and this one is maddening. When Epstein's lawyers demanded to review the security camera footage from outside his cell, investigators discovered something almost unbelievable. 1 minute of footage was missing. Now, when reporters pressed the DOJ on this, Attorney General Pam Bondi, I kid you not, said the record that the missing minute wasn't suspicious. She claimed the camera dropped a minute of footage every night. Every night. So the federal government officials' explanation for why a minute of footage is missing from outside a murder suspect level prisoner cells on the night he died is that the camera just does the sometimes the camera just does that. I will leave you to decide what you think about that one. And I want you to think about the girls for a minute, the one who were 15, 16 years old, the one who were recruited, groomed, trafficking and abused by Epstein and his network for decades. Many of them spent years, some of them their adult lives, fighting for to be believed, fighting to be heard, fighting for one day the court where someone powerful would finally be held accountable. Virginia Gifford, Epstein's most public accuser, died by suicide in April 2025. She never saw full justice. And here's what we know today. In April 2026, the man who ran one of the most powerful predator networks in American history is died. The gods who may have let it happen walked free. The person cameras wasn't working. The footage has mysterious gap. A figure in orange walked towards his cell the night before he died. And 5 years later, nobody has publicly identified who it was. And meanwhile, the 3 million pages of documents Congress forced the DOJ to release has cost careers. They forced registrations in France, in Britain, and Wall Street. The former British prince was stripped for his titles. The former ambassador was arrested, but in the United States, no one was arrested, and not one was charged. Not one person held accountable beyond Ghislaine Maxwell, who is serving 20 years. All those names in all those files and all that evidence, all those victims, and the most powerful country in the world cannot or will not tell us who was in orange on those stairs. That's not a conspiracy theory, that's a damn disgrace. So here's where we are right now. The DOJ says Epstein killed himself, no client list, no murder evidence, case closed. But Congress disagrees. FBI memos disagree. The broken neck bones disagree. The malfunctioning cameras disagree. The sleeping ghosts disagree. The missing minute of footage disagree. And 45% of the American public disagrees. The man in orange has never been identified. Now, I want to hear from you. I mean, this seriously. Do you believe Jeffrey Epstein killed himself? Or do you think someone made sure he never made it to a trial? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want me to go deeper on this, on the names inside those 3 million pages, on what the Maxwell interview actually revealed, and why the DOJ fired Palm Bond is just weeks after she started asking questions, subscribe right now. Hit the bell icon. The story is far from over. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you. And comment your opinion sincerely. And like and subscribe.